Venus Williams came in and spoke. Grant Cardone was there and spoke. I mean, it was just a phenomenal time connecting, networking. I didn't sleep that much. Saw some great shows. The coolest clubs in all of Vegas. They had a huge DJ Jazzy Jeff came in and did the deal. I mean, it was just an incredible time all last week. So,
okay, what did I miss though last week? Why is Chris Hebert on this call? Who allowed him into this group, Sean?
I'm in now. I paid my fees, baby. I'm in.
What? What's going on?
Chris came and said,
Chris, you
didn't
even tell me.
Surprise!
I need to dominate Kansas City, and I said, "Get your butt in the group."
No, it's awesome to see your face, Chris. Sorry to put you under the bus.
I'm used to it. I'll take you. Love you anyway. I can get you.
I'm so happy to see you here, man.
All right. Anybody else have something fun throughout the course of last week? I saw a lot of Instagram stories last week, Chris. Number of individuals I know are EXP agents, and saw a lot of you guys. I actually threw your name out to a couple people, told them that they need to know you. So
awesome. That was a good time. Big week last week.
Nobody else, huh? Nobody else had a good week. Go ahead, Marie. I know you're itching to say something.
You told me I couldn't speak.
Go ahead. I know you had a really good...
the NLP. I did. I had okay. So the NLP practitioner training was phenomenal. That's all I'm going to say. It was just phenomenal. Just so much breaking through limiting beliefs and old shit and putting new goals in place. Anyway, just phenomenal. But then, Carlos Reyes came and spoke to my group and then had a training this weekend that he invited us all to for free. Thanks to this amazing Sean, getting us, yeah, that's you. I'm talking about you, for that hookup, but that was awesome. And there were a lot of people in the group, even John May from this group was on there and loving it. So thank you for that. But yeah, all around, it was a crazy, amazing, mind-blowing week. So now I'm back to reality.
No, now you're back to actually execute.
Oh yeah.
Right. Learning's over. Time to take action.
Exactly.
Awesome. Anybody else have a good week? Now, some of you guys need to get out and do something. I'm going to share because I actually had a really good week last week. I had the biggest speaking opportunity I've ever had in front of me. Not necessarily from the audience size. I've spoke to an audience of, I think 1,800 was the highest at one of the bigger events. But I got to keynote speak for Kellogg's Corporation. And there was about 1,200 of the Kellogg's employees on there. It was for their Veterans Day program. It was a very interesting experience because I didn't realize I was talking to that many people when I was keynoting, and it was on my book. Had nothing to do with digital marketing, had everything to do with the lion mentality, becoming a lion, and how to fortify your mind. But it was kind of surreal because this was the first time that an organization that I had zero connection to, meaning I wasn't connected to a single soul in the organization, yet they reached out and asked me to keynote speak. And a lot of it goes to what I'm going to talk about tonight. As I dug in and asked, how did they find me? How did they reach out to me? What was it about me that made them select this and position the opportunity on it? And for me, it was just a really cool thing to do that. I never thought that I'd speak to corporate employees. I've always looked at my stuff for entrepreneurs. So that was also very interesting to figure out how to craft a message to be delivered, drive home a point, but knowing that I'm not talking to people like us, talking to people who actually care about punching the clock at 5 o'clock and calling it a day. and how do I get past that point and get deeper in to them? And I think it worked because I had a handful of random book sales come in after that. So obviously something I said resonated and people wanted to go deeper into it. And, but that was really cool to see that kind of take shape. And it's kind of what I was going this direction anyway. I talked a little bit about this stuff last week, that we were going to kind of go down this track for a couple of weeks on this trend. But it kind of solidified what I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about on this concept of omnipresence on there. And I know we got a couple of the people that just randomly jumped in, so I'll give you guys a quick chance. If anybody had something fun last week, anything, a highlight of their week that they'd like to share to anybody, whether it's business, personal, doesn't matter. Feel free to share away real quick.
Congratulations, Sean. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I loved your comment, actually. That was the best picture that the team made. That I didn't have anything to do with it, but
I love it, dude. You were like smiling. You looked happy. You weren't mad dogging or mean mugging, or you weren't militarized. It was awesome,
Seriously.
man. It looked really good.
I
The
gave the
best
team the
picture,
feedback
really.
and told them to use more of those type of photos if I have any more in there. I don't know what's out there, but
If you can find more like that. No, Sean, that was the only one. All right.
anybody else going once, going twice?
I'll share real quick. Over in our skip tracing company, we just on Friday interviewed someone to head up our marketing department, and it was an amazing interview that we went through. It's kind of been like a 6-month interview process, but then finally did the official, checkbox interview on Friday. And she accepted the position, and we're moving forward. So, just growth is happening at an amazing rate in my skip tracing company. And so I just need somebody to, be able to manage all the amazing stuff that you're dropping on this call and implementing on the website, which I don't have a lot of time to do. And then within my social media. So it's exciting times.
I love it. Looks like you're growing the beard out too. What's going on there? Or just lazy?
No, I really want to get rid of it, but my wife is challenging me and asking me to keep growing it through the holidays. I can't stand it.
I wasn't sure if it was a no shave November thing or not.
No, I would have had to start 6 months ago to get this in No Shave November. I'm not like Bud. Bud can grow his shit in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, with that being said, unless anybody's got something else they got on their chest they'd love to say, but we're gonna kind of shift here, and I want to take the rest of tonight and really go deep in on this concept of omnipresence. And before I share the screen and start doodling on my little whiteboard and drawing a bunch of stuff out and giving you guys a bunch of crazy stuff, who can tell me, or what do you guys think I mean by omnipresent? Unmute and take a stab.
Just being everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep.
Everywhere.
All platforms.
All the time. Audio, video, digital, analog, the whole nine. Everywhere, all the time.
Okay, these are pretty good guesses. Anybody else have a different spin or something that it means to them? Bud?
Yeah. So when I was a cop, we used omnipresence as you're the single focus point for somebody's attention.
It's a good little twist there. Single focus.
For me, it means that, people that are connected to me, that when they open their social media or something, they will see me.
Okay. It's all pretty good. Anybody else?
All eyes on
Omnipresent.
you. You are all eyes on you. You're basically in front of everybody. You're the
Kinda like
catch,
center stage,
right?
Spotlight's
You're
on
the
you.
catch. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we start looking at it from digital standpoint, right? This call is typically all about marketing, heavy leaning on the digital side of marketing. What the heck could I mean by omnipresent for your business in this space? What are some digital things that you think I'm going to probably discuss?
Well, again, being everywhere every time. So if they get on Facebook, they see us. They get on, they search for something, they see us. They, you're on LinkedIn, you see, you're just in there, you're everywhere. You're just up and around all the
Okay,
time.
so social media. What else?
Google My Business.
Search
Map
results.
Pack.
Where else?
Podcast.
Audio. Could be visual, video, right? So YouTube, podcast
YouTube.
outlets. It's another good one. Where else?
Email in their
Email.
inbox.
Email. Even in 2021, email is still one of the best places to be.
The evening news.
Well, just not on CNN because I hear they're firing a bunch of people. Nobody watches that channel, I guess.
The
And
crisis
yes,
Depending
news
on
network
news
for
is
one.
good as long as it's good news. Where else?
Networking event.
Yeah, that's physical, right? It's not necessarily digital.
What about text messaging?
Yep. Those are all kind of really key elements of the Omnipresence channel, right? Who can tell me what's the most important phase of the customer journey as a marketer? By now, you guys should be able to spit this off the top of your head.
Awareness.
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 Awareness is the most important phase as a marketer. I'm going to keep you muted there, Sophia. As a marketer, it is our job to single-handedly focus in on the awareness phase, which is phase what of the customer journey? Phase uno. I saw your finger, Marie. Phase uno. Phase one of the journey is the awareness side. So where do you think omnipresence comes in? Does it help feed the awareness? Absolutely. It's all about awareness. That's all omnipresent marketing is about, is just awareness. So what are some ways that we could build out omnipresence? And before I even get into the how, I'll share the screen here. Hopefully it comes up. There it goes. Before I even share the how, I said Kellogg's reached out to me because of this simple thing. And that is the fact that I have really good, from a personal brand, from the Sean Tiberio brand with the book and Unleash Your Inner Lion and some of the other elements that I focus on, my podcast on that side, and social media, I carry a really good omnipresence approach, which is how they stumbled on it. Somehow they got into the sphere and couldn't get away from it. Caught an attention, right? We already know social media is a very easy way to keep a strong presence. Be on Facebook, be on Instagram, be on LinkedIn, be on the key social channels. Do you need to be on there 80 times a day? Do you need to live, eat, and sleep it? Absolutely not. We just need to have a consistent piece there. But it goes deeper than that. And when we start to look at building out an omni-channel or an omni-marketing strategy, we really need to break this thing down and say, how can I get the biggest bang for the buck? How can I get the most squeeze out of this thing for the energy and effort that I'm going to put into it? And first and foremost, the very like, easy out of the gate one that I love to build right away because it's simple is a long-term nurture campaign. Long-time nurture. Email. I get somebody's email address. There is zero reason why for 52 weeks they are not receiving an email from me. 52 weeks. How many weeks are in the year? Mickey, you homeschool. Help us out, teacher.
52.
There are 52 weeks in a year, which means if I'm going to be in front of them for 52 straight weeks, I'm going to be in front of them every single week for the entire year. Now, go back to what I said. The omnipresence approach is not about worrying about conversions. It's not worried about subscribers. It's not worried about leads. It's not worried about, are they calling me? Hell, am I even worried if they actually read this email? Marie, I see you shaking your head. No, you're 100% right. Why do I not care if they even open it and read it?
It's just about seeing your name.
Even if they just go and hit delete. When that email comes in every week from Sean Tiberio, and they have to hit delete on that, or even if they go and unsubscribe, that means they had to open the email and scroll down to something and take an action and click on unsubscribe. And they had to question whether they really wanted to hit that unsubscribe button. And they had to look at who the heck the email was from to decide if that's who they were going to, am I still getting into their thoughts? Absolutely. So the second I get somebody's email address, I want to be in front of them 52 weeks a year. Right out of the gate with an email. Now, what goes into this email? What needs to go into this long-term email sequence? It comes down to your avatar. Who is it that you're actually getting in here? And can you have multiple long-term nurtures based on different avatars? Most of you guys on here, basically, as I look around, every single person I think on here tonight is in the real estate space. So we might have sellers. We might have buyers. We might have contractors. We might have realtors, right? Real estate agents, real estate professionals. We might have lenders. We might have people that was just interested in doing one of these things. Might have renters if I'm focused more on the rental side. No matter who the audience is, I want to build out a 52-week sequence for each and every single one of these. So if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to build out my 52 weeks for my sellers, right? I got a website out there. I got people calling me. I gather their information. I get an email address from them. They fill out a form. I get their email address. At some point, they're getting on my database. The second they hit my database, boom, I want them in this 52-week sequence. What is the information that I want to be putting out to a seller every single week? Let's see what you guys can come up with before I give you any answers. What would be viable information from an awareness standpoint to be putting in your emails every single week to these potential sellers?
Well, what's happening in the market update, market.
Okay, local market update. Liz, Marie, you guys do a podcast every single week on this exact topic, right? That could be the basis of your email that goes out every single week, a recap of that. What else would be viable information to go out to them?
You can
Other
have,
properties.
sorry.
No, it's all right. Go, Sophia.
I was gonna say, you can have different topics on circulations, sorry. You know, one about you, one about the process of, you know, either selling or buying, you know, things like that.
Absolutely. Story about you. What did I just talk about last week? One of the most critical pages of your website to focus on, the About Us page. You're the brand. Could be a story about you. Could be a story about the company. It could be, I love the one thing that always sticks with me with JP and Best Skip Tracer is the whole kind of focus on saving Skippy and his family and the polar bears. Right? There's a story to be told there. What else?
Other properties you're buying, projects.
So case studies, right? Other situations that you've helped somebody through that's just like them. Even though the situation isn't the exact same, I don't know this person that's on my list. I don't know, maybe they are dealing with bankruptcy, and the situation that I'm going to put in this email is about probate. It doesn't matter. It's showing credibility through track record and case study, right? Do we got to go into all the elaborate details and put names and contact information of the person? No. I was talking to Lorraine about this earlier. The highlights, right? What was the situation? They were experiencing bankruptcy. They were in foreclosure. We were able to get in touch with the asset manager. I was able to stop this process. We were able to do this for them. We saved their credit, right? Don't need to say all the details, but we build some credibility through that. What's some other stuff that could go in the email?
I think you were kind of touching on it, but are you thinking like testimonials and stuff like that, or what?
Yeah, a straight up testimonial. If Marie says Chris is the greatest real estate agent in Kansas City, why wouldn't I want to feed that into an email at some point on this is what Marie from Phoenix had to say about me. And here's why. And here's how I know Marie. Here's how I built a relationship with Marie, right? Do you need to use names? No, here's how I built the connection with a really good friend of mine and business associate who happened to say this about us and what she loves about us and why she feels that we're so great, right? Some other stuff that can go into these.
You can do selling tips or
there you go.
House hacks.
Tips, tricks, ways to help them improve their home value. And some of you are like, but Sean, I want to buy the house. I understand that. Tell them all the things that they need to do to the house. They'll start to realize why it's a lot easier to just sell it to you. Do you think the recent spike in construction material costs affected more than just construction workers, rehabbers, real estate investors? It affected everybody that owned a home that needed to fix something. They had to pay all these inflated costs. There's information about those type of things that can go in there. At the end of the day, it's not about, are they fully reading it? I just want this thing to hit their inbox every single week. And some will open, some will delete, some will unsubscribe. That's okay. I actually get excited when people unsubscribe because I've weaned out one more person that wasn't the right fit. I get excited when I see open rates up and nobody's replying and nobody's unsubscribing. Tells me I'm obviously not irritating you enough to tell me to go away. You're obviously paying attention to something, right? And I've had countless times where 6 months, 8 months, 12 months later, I get a phone call or I get a message and it's like, oh, man, actually, I got your emails every single week. I had to keep deleting these things. 52 weeks. Now, who wants a fun little hack on how to speed up the 52 weeks? Do you really need to write 52 separate emails? No. If you could get to about 26, 27, and then loop it. Maybe 30, and then loop it. What do I mean by loop it? Resend email number 1 on week 31. If somebody's paying attention to your email and they're opening it up, and the very few, the like 0.00001% of people that actually read every single one of them and is going to call you on your bluff and say, hey, that was the first email you sent me. You sent it to me again. It's like, cool, thanks for paying attention. You're the only one that'll ever do that. The majority of people are never going to realize that they already got that email. Why? Because they're not even opening all of them. So you don't really have to write 52. Write enough that it gets out there. Another thing that you can do is to get this thing started, a goal would be 12, 10 to 12. If you can get 10 to 12 ready to fire, start with the database that you currently have, get them into it. That gives you 10, 11 weeks to keep adding to this before they even hit the ending of it. For someone like Liz and Marie, who every week you guys are getting data and you're sitting down and you're analyzing data and you're doing a market update, you just, after you're done with that, you add it to the end of the list. That becomes email number 13 now. Next week's becomes email number 14. Oh, it's outdated. I understand. Probably should have been paying attention to me sooner. Right? Now, there is one vital element to these long-term nurtures that should be at the end of every single one of the emails. Who thinks they can guess it?
Call to action.
The call to action.
Only because we literally just set up a campaign, and in it I said to Marie, we got to get a call to action by that.
I know, we said that at the same time. That was great.
Yep, I know. We just used that terminology about an hour ago.
Ask for the date. I joke about this all the time. Marketing's like dating. The 52 weeks of emails is small talk. We're sitting side by side at the bar, enjoying a drink and just small chit chat. That's the 52-week email. I'm about to get up and walk away from the bar, and I don't want this conversation to end here and never, ever happen again. I need to ask to continue the conversation, right? Do you need it in every single email? Not necessarily, but I wouldn't go more than maybe one or two without a call to action before you filter it back in. Always be asking for the next step. Always ask for the date. Depending on your business, will determine what that is. A 52-week email for best skip tracer, not necessarily asking for them to call me. It's asking them to go to the site and check it out. It's asking them to sign up for and try the service. Maybe there's a coupon code. Maybe there's a discount that you kick to get them from the email over to it. Maybe it's a one-time use thing, right? Something like that. On the real estate side, we already know what it is. We need to get in touch with them. Like, we want to talk to them. So it's encouraging them to call us. It's encouraging them to go back to the site, fill out a form. It's encouraging them to book a time on a calendar if that's the direction, that's the style that you want to have them go. As an agent, Chris, on your side, as a broker of this, it's like, hey, get in touch with us so we can get the best agent in front of you. Right? Always end it with that next element, the ask. Okay. We all clear on a long-term nurture piece. This one's like, I always start with this one first because it's super easy to get up and run. Some of you come from platforms, CRM systems that are out there that already have some of these basic campaigns built. All you got to do is elaborate on them. All you got to do is extend them out a little bit, add some stuff to it, hijack them, and reuse them somewhere else. Goal would be start with 10 to 12 and eventually get it to somewhere between 30 and 52 and just keep it looping. This is one of those, once you get it built, you just set it and forget it. I'm not worried about what they do, whether they opt out or not opt out or stay in it, don't stay in it. What's the open rate of it? I don't really care. I just want to know that no matter what, one email a week is hitting their inbox. Okay. Could you do this from a text messaging side? If you had a cell phone number, could you build out a 52-week text campaign? Absolutely. Absolutely. My suggestion on a text, you're not going to be able to write a novel in a text, but it would be driving them to some sort of a resource, maybe to your social, maybe to your blog, something like that. Just something that keeps in front of them. Text messaging, I would not put a call to action every single time. I would probably do every 2 to 3. Reason I say that, the open rate on text message is about 98%. So the chances of them actually opening it and reading my text message is higher than the email. which is why I don't want to constantly nag and ask every single week. It may not even be a weekly text right out of the gate. Maybe you send a text every 2 weeks. Play with it, see what goes on. Okay. All good on this one. Yes. The next part of this, some of you guys have been doing really well with this. A weekly live or weekly YouTube. Personally, I like go live and post it to YouTube later and have it out there for long term. A weekly live video. Does it have to be a formalized podcast like Mickey and Kim and Lorraine are doing, or Liz and Marie, the way that you guys are doing yours? No, it doesn't need to be that formalized. If you've got the time, if you're committed enough to it, and you want to go that direction, like Roger and I do with our Web Buzz podcast, absolutely go after that. That's going to be far better. But if you're budgeting on time, or you're maybe not as technologically advanced as somebody else, just go live on a platform. Save that video and post it over here to YouTube. Again, it's not about how many people are watching in the moment. It's about the evergreen aspect of this being out there. You never know when somebody's going to stumble on that video a month, 2 months, 5 months, 8 months from now. The idea is just creating something on a consistent basis that's out there. Okay. This right here, this weekly live, some things that could be done. I'm going to steal Liz and Marie's already. It could be an update about your market. Liz and Marie get data from, it's the title company, right? Did you get it from? They get data from their title company about the status of the real estate market in and around the Phoenix area. I don't remember what all the metrics are on there. Marie, maybe you can chime in real fast and just kind of like list out what would come on that. But they go live every week and they talk about that.
Yeah, we talk about number of active listings in the different cities that we're working on, days on market, just very basic, typical stats. And then we talk about any like big news in real estate. And we just cite local news channels that are talking about big news.
That information, you get that information. How long does it take you to kind of look through it and plan your episode and be ready to go?
Less than an hour.
So they get an email in, she opens it up, she looks through some stuff, pulls out some of the key points that she sees in it, and her and Liz say, okay, cool. They turn on the camera. I was literally sitting in the background a couple weeks ago when I was there. They just stood up, fired up the camera, and both looked at each other and said, all right, let's do it. And that's how it went, right? There was zero stress, zero worry about it. It was just, here it is, here's the data, let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. They got through that stuff and they said, okay, that's it for today.
The first couple weeks, it was a little bit longer and clunky, but now we just go with it. It's easy.
Yep. Another one that you could be doing, if you're actively doing projects, Mickey does a good job of this. Well, you did when you were in Baltimore and you were around your projects. It's a little harder now for you, but it could be walk of your properties. If you got multiple going, there's always something different going on at them. Go out to one of your properties, pick a day of the week. Every Wednesday, I'm going to go to a property and I'm going to wander through the property while I'm live, talk about things, show things, talk about a problem that we had to deal with, talk about how we fixed this certain situation, talk about why we're blowing this wall out and doing this. Why are we using this type of flooring instead of this? Why is it that we're going with this style design over this style design? These type of things. There's never a lack of information on a project to talk about. That could be another one. Another one could be sit down at your desk, share your screen, and show some data. Live analyze a lead. Live analyze a neighborhood. Live analyze a trend that's happening in your market. There's a program out there called Loom. You could do a 5-minute video for free. Loom.com. It'll let you be on camera. It'll share your screen. It's a free account up to 5 minutes. And I think you have, I forget what it is, 5 or 8 of the videos to use. All you got to do is when you're done, you hit download, download it, upload it to YouTube, delete it out of Loom. You could work off a free account for the rest of your life, as long as you keep it under 5 minutes. And for some of you guys, that's probably pretty good. You'd be excited if you even made it to the 5-minute mark on a video. But that's another easy one. You're actually analyzing a property. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Let me turn it on and let me record myself actually going through this. Why? Because it showcases your expertise. It showcases why you do the things that you do. It showcases why the numbers are what the numbers are on there. Maybe you do not just data of analyzing a property, but what if you're putting together a lender package? And you shoot yourself putting together this lender package with the numbers and the returns and all the stuff that this potential individual who would invest on this deal with you would get.
Dude, that's such a good idea.
Then you take that and you go back to number 1 and put that in your long-term nurture for your private lenders. So when you get people interested in it, you can send them a video of a past one that you've done where they actually see some of this stuff. Could I do the exact same thing with my scope of work? Shoot a video of you actually putting together a section of your scope of work where you're actually showing maybe it's the kitchen. And you're showing all the stuff that you put into your scope of work, how detailed that really is. You're starting to get the idea, like there are so many options, so many things, that there really is zero excuse why we don't have something video-wise happening every single week. My suggestion on this one, pick a day and a time that's consistent every single week. Mickey, Kim, Lorraine, if you guys didn't pick Thursdays at whatever time it was when we first started it, would you have been consistent out of the box, right out of the gate?
No, it would have been so hard to coordinate everyone.
Yeah, if you just said, all right, we'll do this every week, but we'll talk every week on what's the best day and time that week. It'd be really hard to coordinate a schedule. But you guys came together and said, all right, every Thursday at this time, we're going to get started on this thing, and we're just going to stay consistent with this for right now. Now, you guys miss sometimes here and there, but you're in a rhythm that it's really easy to get right back on it, because Thursdays at this time, that's our podcast day, right? That's our live video day. For Roger and I, it's Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we turn on the cameras, we go live on the Web Buzz podcast. The live broadcast of the podcast does not get near the reach and the traction and the viewership or the listening as the post up on YouTube, out in some emails, and out on the audio players. We all good with this one here? Yes? Now, the third piece of this, the third piece of this is really simple. purpose have an E? Yes. I suck at spelling, just so we all know. I think we all know this already, but we're good. As Andy Tanner once told me, it doesn't matter. Spell the words differently every time so you can be creative.
I was wondering where you were going.
Repurpose is step 3. What do I mean by repurpose?
Reuse it, redo it, cycle it around, like you say. I mean,
What do I mean
change
by
it
that?
up.
Use it for more than one purpose.
Say that again, Lorraine.
Use it for more than one purpose.
Give me an example.
So if I create, I guess if I create a video, it can not only go on the YouTube channel, it can go on the website, it can go on social media, I can create a blog out of it, I can put it on GMB. I mean, it could be put in multiple, one thing can be used in multiple places at the same time.
100%. That one, let's just take number 2. The live video. Let's say it's 5 minutes in length, and that's all you do. It's 5 minutes. I can almost promise you in a 5-minute video, you will find 2 to 3 30 to 60 second clips where you said something really cool, really good, or something that would be really important in that 30 to 60 second spot. You'll find 2 or 3 of these across 5 minutes. And if you just cut those 30 to 60 second pieces out, made 2 or 3 of those, you now have 2 to 3 IG Reels every week. You now have 2 to 3 YouTube videos on top of the one that you already had of the full length version of it. Awareness marketing, a fun platform to be playing with. TikTok, you just have 2 to 3 TikToks a week off of this. You also have 2 to 3 email topics, because what you said in this 30 to 60 seconds could become a quick little email. It also, to Lorraine's point, you also have 2 to 3 potential blog topics. All off of one 5-minute video.
This is so impressive, Sean, because it works for all domains, right? Whether you are in real estate like us or in other things, it will just work the same.
Hands down. The key to all of this is what?
Consistency.
Consistency. Planning. That is the key. That's why I like the idea of pick a day and a time every week that this is what I'm going to focus on.
You know, Sean,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say, we've been taking that live stream and I love the fact that on StreamYard, we can put it on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn or whatever, but we haven't, now I see like we haven't been taking advantage of like making it shorter and putting it and reusing it in all those places. I mean, we turn it into a blog each week, which is great. But yeah, there's just so many other things here now that we can utilize from that.
Yeah, I mean, that I didn't even go there. This 5-minute video gets turned into a blog, embed the whole video on here as well. Plus it's up on YouTube. Then you start, once this gets consistent, now all of a sudden, all that stuff that Roger was teaching weeks ago about the stacks and how to interlink all of this stuff together and tie all of it together and push power back and forth. And a lot of you guys were going, okay, that's cool, but I don't have any of that stuff. Here's the stuff. It's right here in front of you. One thing I'm starting to do, I moved some things around for December. Every Wednesday, we go live on the Web Buzz podcast. I've now blocked off on Fridays from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 2:30 in the afternoon, an hour and a half of my day on a Friday, to sit down and shoot 5 of these short 30 to 60-second videos for the next week. I'm hoping by the end of this week to have a resource built for you guys. I've built it for myself for the agency. I'm rebuilding it for real estate standpoint. 52 weeks, 365 days of topics that you can literally take the sheet and look at it and go, okay, it's week 3 of December. Here are the 5 topics across the week. And you would take an hour and a half, grab your cell phone, and there's 3 very easy style videos. I can't write it out. I'll de-share so you can see more of me. One of them is the selfie walk and talk. Just turn the camera on yourself, walk and talk for 30 seconds to 60 seconds about the bullet point of that particular day. Another version of it is standing in front of a camera like this. Take your phone, put it up on a tripod, prop it up on some books. I don't care what you got to do. Stand and talk about it. The third one would be use Loom. Share yourself on a screen doing some stuff. Depending on the topic would determine what style video. Personally, I like the walk and talk, especially real estate. People love seeing things. Take one day, go out to a project, and in an hour's time frame, you got 5 topic points that you need to speak for 30 seconds to a minute on, and you shoot yourself at the project talking about those topic points. You literally would have 5 posts across every major social channel every week, video-wise, to put out there. You pick one of those topics for your weekly live. This repurposing element right here, let me reshare the screen back. To find in this 5-minute video, to find these 2 to 3, go on Fiverr or Upwork. And for probably $10 to $20 a week, you could send a video person the link to this 5-minute long video and say, hey, at minute this to this, cut it. At minute this to this, cut it. And a minute this to this, cut it. Make these 2 to 3 out of that 5-minute video for me and send me back the individual ones, all done up nice. And I want them done to be able to be posted for IG Reels, TikToks, and be able to use them in some other stuff. And very inexpensively, you can get a guy to do this or a gal to do this for probably $15, $20 a week. Or you guys can sit down and try to figure out how to use video editing software and do it yourself. Does this make sense? How many of you guys feel like if you just got this in place and got consistent with it for about 7, 8, 9 weeks, that suddenly some online noise might change?
Definitely.
I think it's crazy because, you know, I go to Baltimore every 5 to 6 weeks and I can shoot videos on the field and just have my whole month there done.
Absolutely.
In one day.
All I gotta do is plan it. Hey, I'm going on this week at this time, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be there, and I need to shoot for. I'm not gonna be back for another 5 weeks. Great. Here's the 5 weeks of topics that I want to shoot on. I'm gonna go to this project and shoot this one. I'm gonna do this at this one. I'm gonna sit with Aisa and do this one. Plan it all out, shoot them all, upload it to a Google Drive file, start cranking them out. This is why I say the 52-week email, you don't need to write all the emails right out of the gate. Even if you only got 5 or 6 of them set, and then started focusing on the weekly rhythm of this stuff, there's going to be topics that you're going to be like, oh man, let me sit down and just write a quick email around that and add that to the sequence. Because at the end of the day, it's just about awareness. That's it. I just want to create a lot of noise at the awareness level that no matter where they go, I know I've got some stuff out there for them to stumble on. Questions? I know we've got them because this is like new news to a lot of you guys here.
So I have a question. So for these are not like the cold leads or anything like that, or the ones that these are people that have already subscribed and, you know, you kind of just have their information and you're reaching out to.
Talking about on the email side?
Email or text message.
Doesn't matter whether they're cold, lukewarm, hot, boiling, frozen. I don't care where they fall in that category. If I have an email address, I want an email in front of them. Right now, as it stands, I have a database of individuals who are not clients. They get emails every week from me until they sign up to be a client. The second they sign up to be a client, there's an automation that tells it to stop sending the long-term nurture emails to them.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't care where that email came from. I don't even care if they're the right audience for me. Why? Because I want to be in front of as many people as possible. Because I never know what the opportunity is going to be because of it. Could you separate it out as a real estate person and have a long-term nurture for a seller versus a long-term nurture for a contractor versus a long? Absolutely, you could. But don't let that stop you from getting it done, right? Build one. Then you can always separate it and say, okay, I'm no longer going to let people that I know are contractors be in that one. I've built one more from the contractor standpoint. I'm going to dump them into that. All right, or in Chris's case, on the retail side, okay, these people I know are buyers. I don't want to necessarily put too much information about selling because that's not the right. Okay, well, once I get the buyer one ready to go, I can move that type of the audience and filter it out and put them over here and get more buyer related information in front of them all the time. Key is just get started, right?
Okay, Sean, I have another question because, you know, they've gone back and forth on some of these social media sites about whether you can pre-post stuff. I mean, I know like on Facebook you can, but those other sites, the Hootsuites and whatnot about, you know, them not liking that. Is that still a thing? Is it not a thing? Where are
I don't
we
care
at?
about that.
But just still get them out there. Just
I don't care about that. I just want my channels to have stuff on them on a consistent basis.
okay.
Social media will never be the be all end all lead driver. You will never get all of your business from a social media account to worry about. Is the reach the maximized amount that it can be, right? And I know there's some people out there that'll argue the other side of it, but for what you guys do, it isn't about that piece. It's about when they go and look me up on social media, I want to make sure I got stuff there. And I want to make sure I got relevant stuff there. And I want to make sure that I look like I have a life as a business, right? That I actually breathe, that I'm not half dead. And they're wondering what's going on because the last time I posted something was 8 months ago. And did they die from COVID or what? What other questions we got?
This isn't a question, but did anyone see the video that JP posted earlier today of his daughter taking a lot of video of his butt walking through a house? It was great. Great butt footage right there, JP. Just want to let you know.
Wait,
Was
which part was great? I just want to make sure I understood what you said. What was great about that whole video?
Don't worry, JP, it's recorded. I'll send you just that clip. I'll have Chamara cut it out where Maria says the butt video was great.
No, in all serious though, like when I watched it, I couldn't believe how like steady she was holding the camera. That was like 4 years ago. So she's 11. She was 7 at that point. I was actually pretty surprised. She did an awesome job too, like popping in with all of her little commentary. I got a lot of views on that. And ultimately the buyer who bought our house actually made a comment because she was following us on social media, and she made a comment about that video. And I was only like 3 or 4 months into my business, but we were posting regularly, kind of like what Sean's talking about. And so it's just crazy that they saw it and they liked the video when they shared that with us at closing.
What else? I know we got some questions. Some of you guys are really quiet until we get off the call, and then I get all the team notifications that you're emailing support asking these questions.
Do we physically post daily on our social media then?
I would, whether you're outsourced it or not, or you make these and you send them over and you say, here's stuff to use. Get it out there. I don't actually post on our TRC account. That's the team. They do all that. But this is where we're going. Itzel's actually on right now. I've been on her like crazy to really hone in. We have a 35, 45 minutes worth of content every week on our podcast. They're making 10, 12, 14 of these clips off of that. Omnipresent. I want to be everywhere at all times. There's one more strategy behind this. There's one more element. It's kind of next layer. I need you guys to get this part done before we could even start to tackle the next kind of the icing on the cake, as I call it, piece of it. But this right here, like at the core of it, if you guys could do a 5-minute or less video a week, if that's all I can get out of you, that's going to do something. An email to your database every week, a text message to a database every week to 2 weeks kind of thing. Cold ones, right? On that side. If I'm actively prospecting the list, that's hitting them quite a bit. If you as a business are not in front of hundreds of people a week, you should be upset. If there's a week that goes by that you question if I even was in front of a soul this whole week, you got to start asking yourself the question, how long can a business survive at that point? All right, Chris, you got 200 and something agents underneath you. If you didn't actively get yourself in front of eyeballs, how long are those agents going to hang around your brokerage?
We got great retention built in, but no, I see your point.
Yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to go, why am I here? He doesn't feed anything towards me. I'm left on my own to get it all. Maybe there's a better opportunity somewhere else. You good?
Sean, I do have a question.
Go for it, Lorraine.
And it's probably something I've asked you before, but for those of us who don't necessarily have this built out yet, and we are in the process of doing the lead vault, should we kind of wait till, I shouldn't say wait, but at least for the email portion of this, should we kind of wait for that to be built out?
Nope, grab a
or
Google
sort
Doc.
of implement this or
Grab a Google Doc and start writing your emails. Email number 1, here it is. Email number 2, subject line, here's the email. Email number 3, subject line, here it is. Start building it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
Now, how is TRC? I'm going to end tonight with some things for you guys to think about. Because if you didn't realize it, we're like really close to the end of the year. I know it feels like early November, but by the time holidays start hitting, Thanksgiving hits, we're all fat and happy. It takes us a week to get back into the rhythm. And then all of a sudden Christmas is around the corner, and then nobody does anything between Christmas and New Year. Before you know it, 2022 is here. Do you guys agree? Yeah. It's coming quick. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a big picture overview of where TRC, REI Toolbox, where are we going as we get into 2022? Because I talked a little bit about this last year. This is the time of year. It's Elle's on. She can kind of confirm on this. Roger and I have already been really game planning pretty hard for what 2022 looks like. One of the big things, I put a post up in the group to see what your guys' reaction would be around it, not to see if that was the decision or not. I already made the decision. I was curious what your reaction was. And I actually laugh at some of the reactions that I got on it. One of the big things, come December, this call is not happening on just Monday nights anymore. It is going to happen every day of the week. I'm going to go to a full 5-day-a-week training schedule. Now, with that, every day is going to have its topic. Mondays is going to be around a certain point. Tuesdays is going to be around something. I put an example up in the group. Monday's probably going to be more around kind of planning of your week, finding your priorities, this type of stuff, marketing priorities for the week. Tuesday's probably going to be more focused around conversion, converting seller leads, seller opportunities, right? Basically converting opportunity into closed business, more of a sales focus and the alignment of sales and marketing. Wednesdays is going to be around X topic. Thursday is probably going to be around things like SEO or something like that, right? Friday is going to have its point. I don't know what time yet. I'm still trying to nail down the time of day that it's going to happen. But every day of the week, you're going to know, here's the schedule. Here's what each day is. Here's the time that it happens. You guys jump on the days that you feel like you need the help in those different topic points. Why am I going to this structure? Because of our own clients, we don't have omnipresence. We have a lot of clients and like 20 of you that show up every week. That means I have a lot of other clients out there that we serve, that we care about, that we want to make sure they're getting results that I can't be in front of, that we can't get in front of on a consistent basis. So what am I going to do? A weekly schedule. That's a big thing that's going to happen. It's probably going to happen right after the start of December. Roger and I are going to be away the very first week of December at a mastermind. And as soon as we get back, we will kick that off. So be paying attention to the Facebook group, pay attention to emails and texts that come out as to when that's going to happen and what that schedule looks like. Okay. As I look at the schedule right now, next Monday, Roger is probably going to run the call. I will be getting ready for a flight home to Ohio. We will have a call on the 29th, but we will not be having a call on December 5th. That week of December 5th, Roger and I are going to be in Miami at a mastermind. So both of us will be out of pocket during that time. So I bring that up to say, you've got 2 more weeks this month. And then it's probably going to happen on December 13th. The weekly call will kick off, the daily call, not the weekly call, the daily call for the week. But you only got about 2 weeks left of December at that point, when you take out a couple of the holiday days that we won't do anything for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, that kind of stuff. So the new year's coming up pretty quick. Okay. The other thing, monthly webinars are going to be coming out. I'm already starting them. I started one last month. I have one happening on Thursday this week. We're going to run it again twice in December. It's more for us. on the front end. It's a big front end marketing element that we're going to do. I'm actually going to start experimenting with some paid advertising, driving towards a webinar piece. But every month there's going to be a webinar topic. You guys as clients are more than welcome to join on those. That information will be out for you to know when those are happening, what day, time, be able to register, sign up, get the link, all that kind of stuff. The one that I'm running this Thursday and running twice in December is all around building your 2022 marketing plan. So I would suggest getting on that at some point or watching the replay of it out there. Okay. The other big thing that's been taking shape internally, just give you a little bit of kind of insight behind the scenes on some stuff. Some of you guys are in a beta program right now. Roger and I have been spending a lot of time in the back end building a very robust real estate primarily focused CRM and marketing system software. January is the tentative day or kind of the tentative month as of right now that is going to come live and be available for everybody. Those that were very heavy with HubSpot before under our partnership side with HubSpot, we brought them in under the beta side to test and build out some of this stuff. But come January, that will be something that's a possibility for you to get your hands on and be able to utilize. So you will be seeing some a new name being thrown around inside of the TRC community. Lead Vault is the name of the software. So you'll be seeing some of that. I will be running some different demo trainings and some stuff so that you guys can better understand the capabilities of this platform, how it might fit into your operation, what it's going to be able to be helping with. Okay. And then the final thing that I'm going to throw out, those of you that are accelerator dominator level clients, as of right now, we might open it up on the foundation side or our Content Pro Lights if you're on one of those legacy platforms. Accelerator dominators, probably sometime mid Q1. Roger and I are going to be looking at putting together a kind of an intimate multi-day mastermind where we'll pick a location and meet. Everybody will meet there and kind of a boardroom style table mastermind for about 2 or 3 days on some stuff. Okay. So just kind of be on the lookout for that for those of you that are at those levels on there. But that's some of the big stuff that's kind of been in the works in the back end for us. I promised the team that if we hit our goal for the quarter by the middle of this month, that they would have kind of an easy ride to the end of the year. And it's how you guys can unmute if you want and just kind of share, but they really haven't had any new sales or anything happen in the last couple of weeks because we actually crushed that whole thing by like the start of this month. So we've been spending a lot of time focusing on what's coming next year to better serve you guys and to better get you guys results. But I say this all the time. There's only one thing Roger and I cannot do. Doesn't matter how much we put our brains together. There's only one thing we cannot do. And that is take action for you. You guys got to do it. Okay. Thoughts, questions, comments, anything before we end tonight? I don't even know if anything's in the chat.
I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate being on my first call with you guys.
Absolutely, Chris. Good to see you. Okay, well, if that's it, I'm going to go ahead and